right now. He's just sort of chilling.
Yeah, he just kind of seems completely lost as what to do. I think he feels like he probably needs to all in, but I think he realizes that even if he does try to all in, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So he's kind of just between a rock and a hard place. You can't really expand that. I mean, he can expand, but he doesn't. He feels like he'll get it so much later than Kyhol. Kind of the same thing that happened last game is going to happen. But if he tries to push all in, I mean, he knows there's a lot of tanks out, so he's probably just trying to figure out what he can possibly do here. And we do see a siege tank getting stuck between the two barracks in the factory for Kyhol. They probably want to fix that positioning for future games.
Yeah, he even changed his rally point to actually have a shift in it, which is pretty clever. But he'll probably just want to lift off the factory after it finishes the second siege tank, so he can just move the siege tank that's just in siege mode in the middle of his base.
Yeah, for sure. Here comes a warp prism now from BBQPlox in the back of Kyle's base. Nothing. He has kind of forgot about it right now, but I think he's going to be maybe trying to dual-pronged attack, maybe push in front with these Colossus and this ground army, and then do some warp-ins in the back. It's really all I can really think of. But, I mean, if we look at the tank count now, we got 6 tanks on the field. And again, this warp prism being denied by these scouting marines. Really good map awareness by Kyhol here so far in this game.
Yeah. Something I do want to note, though, is that if you look at the food count of both players, BBQPlox has done a great job of macroing off of this one base and losing expos. He's not that far behind Kyle's food count.
Yeah, the problem is, though, when the other person has an expo and you don't, and you're still behind in unit count, it's generally not a good-looking thing. You kind of... because when you're trying an all-in like he is, you definitely want to have a commanding lead in the food count to be able to kill him, because there's obviously a defensive advantage, especially for tanks, where if they're sieged up, they're so much more powerful. So, although, I mean, yeah, he is doing a pretty good job of this, it's really not really where you want to be at in the game, not taking an expo at all.
Yeah, it's very true. And the Warp Prism did try and just dance it again. However, there are these Marines in the back that are just going to destroy it whenever it tries to move in. Interesting stim pack still not researched quite yet for Kyhol. I mean, he's had those tech labs up for quite a while. Probably should have that already. But here comes the push by BBQPlox, and I just don't think it's going to be enough. We'll see here. Yeah, siege tanks on the high ground. Kyle's going to siege off these other ones, and EMP's going off. There. Ooh, that's bad for BBQPlox. Although BBQPlox is doing fairly well. Kyle is not engaging with all of his forces, but BBQ is going to pull back. He still hasn't thrown down an expansion, though.
Yeah, he's just going all in here. This is a complete all-in by BBQPlox. He knows he can't... It's too late to expo at this point. Okay, but he does start expo. In reality, it is way too late to expo at this point, and I'm trying to... But Kyle's pushing out here, and this might be a bad thing for him.
Oh, just walking the Marines into the extended thermal lances.
Yeah, tanks are much stronger when they're sieged up to when they're not. That was really bad decision-making by Kyhol. He should have scanned and made sure that he knew BBQPlox didn't have an expo yet. And, I mean, this could be game right here just because Kyhol really bad decision-making there. But he does still have tanks in his main. He does still have this Marine Marauder force. So if BBQPlox is too aggressive, he'll still be fine. Kyhol will still be fine here. Pulling off SCVs. And, I mean, these 3 Colossus have so many kills between the 3 of them. 23,
24, 23, 25 now. 11, 25, and 24.
Wow, yeah, so many kills from the 2. And, I mean, the Protoss is actually ahead in Harvesters now. He doesn't have his Expo quite yet, and if he's still aggressive, he can definitely probably make Kyhol lift this Expo up. But he needs to be aggressive really quickly here.
Yeah, Kyle might want to just float off his command center and just take the gold and get a planetary fortress up. That could actually be a good move right now for him, because he does still have a fairly solid force that he can just macro up again. But the siege tank in bad positioning.
Some decent Marine and Marauder micro there by Kyhol, and we do have the first Viking out on the field. Really, really late Vikings by Kyhol, and that's the main thing that allowed BBQPlox to kind of even this game out, which is, I mean, I was saying it was completely over, but he kind of evened it out just for the fact that Kyle's so late on his Viking count. He actually doesn't even have a reactor starport. He only has a Tech Lab starport. So really, some poor decision-making here, really allowing BBQPlox to get back in this one.
Yeah, so Kyhol is just... He's in a much rougher spot than he was in. Like, just met little to move out, and just having his units walk single file into this extended thermal lances just really wrecked him. The late siege mode there. This is now actually turning into a close game.
Yeah, it's definitely a close game. At the late siege mode, like you said, was so huge. He needed to have his tank sieged up first. That's what happens when you get a little too aggressive with Terran and you don't scout ahead of you. With tanks, you need to kind of leapfrog them, make sure that they're always sieged whenever you can engage. And if you try to push up a high ground like that without scouting at all, that type of thing can really happen to you very, very quickly. And Kyhol is just lucky that he's had that expo up for as long as he had compared to BBQX's expo, because if not, if BBQX had taken that expo earlier, this game would probably be over right now.
Yeah, and here we go. Kyhol sieging up his lone siege tank now. Going to try and start pushing out, trying to take his third. But, oh, bad. Force Heal is just picking off one Marine. And just damaging Marauder.
Yeah, he was trying to snipe that command center, but, command center, I should say. But, Kyhol trying to use that tank to his advantage. There's only one tank there. I think he's a little bit too worried about that one tank. He could probably just put a couple of zealots to tank the damage in front and then have the rest of his army snipe Kyhol's army. But I mean, this is an interesting game at this point.
Yeah, you can see that Kyle's even morphing a planetary fortress at this third. And Kyle's also watching the gold expansion, because right now that's something that BBQPlox, if he could get away with getting a gold expansion, he would be in such an amazing position just with that extra income. But here
comes a really nice attack here by Kyhol.
Yeah, great concave right now going on, but he's not using all of his units. But it might not matter. It seems like he's just going to be able to move in and do a ton of damage. The two Colossi are still up, though. But yeah, it's still... Kyle's moving back into the siege tank now. Oh, the Colossus is actually starting to get taken out and picked off by the Vikings and the Marauders. Kyle's good positioning by BBQPlox, keeping the Colossi alive.
Yeah, we're seeing some really good Colossus micro here in this game, pulling them back and forth just as much as he needs to. They're doing maximum damage on the Bio Army, which is exactly what you want them to do.
Yeah, but Kyle's planetary fortress is now up, to make this base a lot more easily held.
Yeah, I mean, getting that planetary fortress up was so huge. BBQPlox really needed to not let Kyhol get that planetary fortress up, so then he wouldn't be at a base disadvantage. But now that that planetary fortress up, there's really nothing he can do with tanks plus planetary fortress. I mean, that's pretty much invincible. Yeah, no,
Colossi gets picked off by these Vikings. The other one has very, very little health left. Ooh, Kyle's also trying dancing around with these guys. He snipes the Colossus. That's huge. That is so huge for Kyle.
Snipe that last Colossus. Now he can pretty much just move in there and go for the kill at this point. He's leapfrogging these tanks like he needs to, but again, kind of terrible micro. But it's not really. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if you look at Kyle's army, it's much bigger than BBQPlox's.
Kyle even has a Raven coming along that's going to be able to join the fight. But still, he's going to... Ooh, too much target firing of the Colossus. Okay, but never mind. The Marauders are still very high in the count, so you're going to be able to take out a lot of these things. But they have so little health left. So little health on Kyle's army right now. The medevac does manage to lift off and save, but it could go for a little drop, it would seem. And there's GG from BBQPlox. Very cool game.
That was an interesting comeback from BBQPlox. Kyhol kind of getting a little too aggressive, but... Good, well played by both players, for sure.